Hey folks, in this video I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I thought I'd do a drawing of a portrait based on a photo reference that I found from unsplash.com. I will put a link to the photographer in the description for this video. And I thought I'd talk about utilizing references. So I hear a lot of different things from students and people on the internet, and there's seems to be a pervasive notion that using references is cheating. And I don't know where this comes from, but I wanted to go ahead and share my thoughts on references. First of all, using references as a form of study is not cheating. In that case, Michelangelo, everyone else that is, a famous artist from history would be considered cheaters. If you are tracing from a reference and passing that off as your own work, that would be an example of an improper use of reference if you're trying to pass something off as your own. But if you're using it as a study, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using references. In this particular case, what I'm doing is I'm creating a slightly more stylized version of this librarian. And I say stylized because I'm making some design decisions that are not in the reference. For example, I've elongated her neck. And usually when you're looking at stylized female characters, they typically have a more elongated neck. Just adds, I guess, to the appeal of the character. So that was a design decision that I decided to incorporate. And then the other elements here, generally when I'm analyzing a reference, I look at angles and I look at the underlying volumetric shapes and start to basically build a structure comprised of basic shapes. And I use measuring tools like, I'll use lines to kind of indicate the position or the placement of where the eyes are, the nose, and the lips, that sort of thing. So that way I can ensure that my proportions look correct. And generally speaking, this works well for me because I'm not having to invest a whole lot of time in getting details right at the very beginning, because if I'm working with details at the beginning, I could have my proportions totally off and I would have to start over again. So, working from general to specific really allows me to make sure that the underlying drawing is solid, and that way when I do add details, that everything is going to hopefully fall into place. This video is sped up about 4 times just so that it doesn't cause a lot of visual fatigue. But if there's any interest in seeing me actually do this live at some point, on the channel, let me know, and I'd be happy to entertain that notion of setting up a YouTube live video where you can watch me draw and interact with me. And also let me know some feedback with regards to whether or not you prefer watching videos like this. I generally shy away from doing full-blown recordings. I try to be more specific to providing you guys with specific tips. But if this is something that is useful, please let me know in the comments. I value your feedback and I definitely do appreciate it. So here I'm just adding some foreground elements, some books, just to go ahead and not have her just floating off in space. When you look at the thumbnail for this particular YouTube video, you'll probably see some slight adjustments or tweaks, maybe even some other elements that are not in this particular recording. This is, again, just a quick warm-up study. It took me about maybe 10 minutes or so to go ahead and, maybe about 20 minutes I want to say, because this video is sped up a couple times. But when you're starting out, with drawing, I think that it can be very intimidating to draw from life or to draw from observation, but it's definitely important. Even if you love to draw cartoony characters, my advice to you would be to try to develop a more balanced and more, create a wider range for yourself. So that way you feel comfortable drawing anything, right? You're not just limited to say, oh, I can only draw cartoon characters. And I think that studying life will definitely inform the way that you approach drawing cartoon characters too. So give that a try. So you can see I'm adding all the details, the floral prints on her shirt. That stuff happens all the way towards the end. I don't really worry about any of those details at the onset, because if there's something wrong with it, then the details really don't matter. I welcome any and all feedback that you guys have. If you want to learn more about some of the things that I'm doing here, if you struggle with something specific when you're working with references, please let me know. That's very, very useful information for me, and it allows me to create some content for the channel that can help you out. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is to help intermediate artists level up their techniques. And really, the content is something that I want to be driven by the audience, if at all possible. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the subscription, and I do appreciate the likes. It does help me with the algorithm. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.